It's one of the most popular cars in Singapore. Globally, this model is well known, but I'm not talking about the Toyota Corolla Altis. Instead, what we have here for you today is the all-new Mercedes-Benz E-Class in E200 AMG Line trim. Today's episode is made possible by Sgcarmart Smart Loan. Sgcarmart Smart Loan is designed to save you time and money through a digitalized loan application via MyInfo for your used car purchase at below market interest rates. For a limited time only, get $500 cash back and a 6 months Kinto membership worth $1,200 when you apply for a loan today. To find out how much money you'll save when you buy a used personal or private hire car, click on the link below now. The face of the new E-Class, the best description would be it is a starry one. For the AMG line, you get this particular grille with a big star in the center, and if you look closely, you'll find that there are these little stars. It's quite tastefully done and new for the E-Class. The grille is now illuminated. It can't be seen so well in the daytime, but at night, the effect is more pronounced, and I think it just adds character to an already good-looking car. I'm glad the designers have kept the car's profile clean. The design here is not busy. With the AMG line, what you do get is slightly lowered suspension. So this does two things. One, it will lower the center of gravity, thereby helping improve handling a little bit. And two, it makes the car look extra nice since it does come with these 20-inch wheels. Moving over here, you'll find, hey, what happened to the door handles? They're now retractable. They're recessed when the car is locked, but when you need them, they'll pop right out. The thing is, right, if you don't get right back into the car, they're just gonna slide back in. To me, while the retractable handles are cool, I'd rather have the old-fashioned, like the grab handles are just always there when I need them and not I need to go and get them to pop back out. But anyway, minor point, let's have a look at the rear. What would an E-Class be if not practical as well? So let's pop open the boot lid, and inside you've got 540 liters of capacity. And it's not just it's wide, it's quite lengthy as well. You see the anti-trolley fits no problem. You've got your cabin-sized luggage. That also fits no problem. Look, there's even room to spare. If you need to store something longer, you've got backrest release toggles over here. And this is a nice handy touch. Over here, you pull this down, you see these two hooks. Sometimes you might buy one or two things from the supermarket. You hang your belongings there, and as long as you don't go hog wild on the way home, it should be fine, like they won't be spilling out all over the place. So very practical. I suppose if you play golf, the golf bag would fit in nicely. You can kind of tell, you see from over here just how much space is being offered. And of course, the boot lid is powered for your convenience. Let's check out the back seat. Now, because this isn't an EV, and you know how like most EVs have got that nice flat rear floor, you still have this rather gigantic floor protrusion that's going to make things awkward. Let me show you. If I need to scoot over to the center seat, like let's say three of us are coming in the rear, I need to like do this, move over here, and then the center seat, it's a little bit harder than you'd imagine, and I feel like you shouldn't let anyone sit here for too long unless you don't like them. Now let's talk about the front. For the AMG line cars, you get, of course, an AMG steering wheel. So it's this rather compact unit, flat bottom of course, and you've got these two tiers of controls. I find that this move to capacitive touch buttons, while high-tech and all, the issue is if you're not used to tapping and then like sliding your finger around, because it requires some weight but not a full press to navigate, and sometimes, especially if you're on the go, you can't really like just now I'm having a hard time like changing to my preferred setting. So I find that physical buttons, they still work best. Just like with the aircon controls, like you can still manipulate them on your own, but this is something that you'll just have to live with, I suppose. If you can't stand it now, I would say it's not gonna get any better the longer you own the car. Anyway, behind then you've got these like paddle shifters. They're quite nice to use. As with other Mercedes models, you have an integrated indicator and wiper stalk. Quite easy to use, quite straightforward. This one, the column mounted shifter, is a particular favorite of mine because let's say you arrive in the car park, you stop the car, all you need to do without even taking your hands off the wheel, so I'm stopped, I could engage reverse just like that, and I don't have to like move down, like it's just over here. So I think it's something that they definitely should keep. I find that if it's here, it kind of saves space, it's out of the way. I mean, yeah, it has given us so much space over here. With all that being said, let's take this baby out for a drive. The Mercedes-Benz E200 AMG Line is priced from $384,888. The 2-litre engine produces 201 brake horsepower and its electric motor produces another 23 brake horsepower. The hybrid drivetrain outputs a combined 320 Nm of torque. The 9-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km an hour in 7.5 seconds. The E200 has a claimed fuel consumption of 14.3 km per litre. For more details on the E200 or any other car, head on to Sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Here we are, I'm behind the wheel of the new E-Class. First impressions is this. The car is quiet, the car is refined. The ride, I think if I'm not wrong, I wrote that the E-Class, you put the E in serene, we're just cruising very gently. It doesn't even feel like I'm doing 80. The ride, it is quiet, it is pliant, it is what you expect an E-Class to be. After all, why is this car so popular? This is Mercedes' best-selling model globally. There's a reason for that. The E-Class is arguably the traditional soul of Mercedes. Together with the S-Class, it is what the 3 Series is to BMW. That's what the E-Class is. That's what makes it so popular. People want a bit of that Mercedes soul. If not this, then it's the S-Class. Yes, you've got your EQ models, your new electric cars, but there's something about the tradition that the E-Class brings, that executive levels of comfort. Beneath this bonnet, it's a turbocharged 2-litre with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Together, I've got about 201 bhp, about 320 Nm of torque, and this gets sent to the rear wheels via Mercedes' own 9-speed automatic. Everything works smoothly, and more importantly, they work quietly when the conditions are right. This 48-volt mild hybrid, they can engage a sailing mode. You call it sailing, some car makers call it coasting. But what that basically means is when you're maintaining a constant speed, conditions are right, the car deems it okay, it'll turn the engine off so you coast and you don't burn any fuel. 48-volt mild hybrid. The other thing it does is that at low speeds, it will give a bit of torque boost so that when you move off, you can move off smoothly and it doesn't sound like the car is struggling. Because the other thing you got to remember is this car is about 200 odd kilos heavier than the previous car. But despite that, you'll still do 0 to 100 in about 7.5 seconds. That is not blindingly quick, it's not going to give you palpitations or anything, but it is plenty. So now I'm like doing 90, you can't even hear anything, everything is like going quietly, and it makes me feel as if I'm senior management, I'm on the board of directors, I'm going to work. It puts me in that frame of mind. Now, earlier, you might have heard the system beeping a little bit. That is just one of the many safety systems that kicks in because I indicate I want to filter to a different lane, but there's a vehicle, there's a motorbike, and so the system picks up on that, you know, for your blind spot monitoring. Another thing that this car has, of course, is autonomous, like emergency braking. I can't remember the exact name for it, but essentially, if the car senses that a mishap's about to occur, because you're approaching an object, another vehicle, a pedestrian, a cyclist, and you're gaining very quickly, it will apply the brakes for you. That plus blind spot monitoring, there's a ton of other safety features that this car has. Everything from like a bird's eye view, the 360 degree for ease of parking, your traction control, your ABS, and all these are like standard. Now, you might be curious, how does the E-Class handle, the new E-Class? This is the AMG line, so I'm told it has slightly sportier, that means slightly firmer suspension, but it's not firm in a terrible way. It's still very compliant. It is the kind of ride that it doesn't upset you. We've gone over a few bumps here and there. The road surface is a bit undulating, but it doesn't really bother the car. So that being said, how does the car handle? I would say it's a bit understeery to neutral, but that's actually fine. I mean, you're not talking about an AMG model. There is like a full-fat AMG model for this. So in terms of things like the steering is quite light. It's not particularly heavy, but there is like precision here. Like, I'm not finding that it's too vague or something. You've got to remember, this car is geared towards occupant comfort. It's not geared towards a sporty drive. You want a sporty drive, you go and look elsewhere already, because this just won't do it for you. But if you're seeking that everyday comfort, this is the car for you. So, is the Mercedes-Benz E200 AMG Line a will buy, won't buy, or go try? In my book, I would say it is a won't buy. Now, I'm not saying I won't buy the E-Class, I just won't buy it in this trim. This trim is particularly expensive. And when I mean expensive, I mean when we first took this car out, like maybe a month or two back, AMG Line was retailing for over 430,000. Damn! I know taxes and COE and all, but that is a lot for an E-Class. And I'm not saying the car is no good. If I had to go for an E-Class, it would probably have to either be exclusive or avant-garde trim. That's it for us for this video. This was the E200 AMG Line. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Maybe leave us a comment, what do you think about this car? Hit the notification bell if you haven't. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok at Sgcarmart. Till then, stay safe, drive safe, or ride safe if you ride. Bye! E-Class Saloon here in E200. Why? AMG Line model. I'm quite proud of my talent for making things look